Hello everyone, my name is Leslie. Welcome back to my channel. This is a series of Frugal Thoughts, and today I wanted to share with you some thoughts and ideas about ways for you to get out of debt if you are in debt in 2022. I will tell you this is at the end of December 2021. I had a big wake-up call, and I put this in my, I'll try to remember, I don't usually do it. I had a big wake-up call about 3 years ago, at end of December 2018, about my family's debt. I had also done a video about, and this was in that video, my husband had a medical crisis in 2016. Our financial situation completely changed, and up until that time, he was the main breadwinner, and I was at home with our 5 children, and I had been at home. I had started to do some part-time work for a retailer outside of Philadelphia in the corporate offices, not in the mall section, but that would have been fun. But I have, I traditionally had let him take care of the finances, so to speak, and obviously with my input. But at the end of 2018, December, so it's been 3 years now, I've rarely even opened up financial things. And that's not completely true. Like, I would open them up and I would kind of check on them and I would see how we were doing. And, you know, when our IRAs came in or whatever, you know, I would kind of pay attention to it, not tremendously, but kind of had an idea. And I would ask my husband, I'm going to change that a little bit. Anyway, at the end of December 2018, I opened our mortgage statements for, we have the home we live in as well as a rental property, which we purchased in 2010, which we had always rented out throughout the season, the rental season, which is from June 15th to September, you know, Labor Day weekend, and we used it off season, and that had been going well. I don't want to say, I don't know what happened, but when I opened up, we've lived in this home for quite a while. When I opened up the mortgage statements, I was, to put it mildly, shocked at how much we owed on both of those 2 mortgages. I did not know that was the situation, and I fault myself. I guess everyone always says, like, you know, just because you're a stay-at-home mom, you should still know what's going on. But, you know, the simple fact is I was at home with my children, and that is, you know, it's division of labor. You know, it's just simply division of labor. Anyway, everything changed after my husband had his medical situation. I did go back to work, and I was working, you know, as I do project-based work, so I could to some extent pick and choose what kind of, when I worked and how long I worked and whatever. Everything changed, and that was a wake-up call. When I saw how much money we still owed, and I 3 years ago was 3 years younger than I am right now, and seeing our retirement years over the horizon still, now they're kind of like right there, but what should have been my retirement years, I kind of freaked out. So anyway, I guess that was a wake-up call for us, and if you have gone through a similar wake-up call, these are my pieces of advice. If you listen to Dave Ramsey, he says all the time that your income is your greatest way to wealth, and that is what I did. I started getting working. I do not mean to be flippant to anyone who is not able to work for whatever reason, but it just, especially now because of the pandemic, so many of these jobs have become remote. If you are someone who is home with your children and or you know, have physical limitations, who are not able to go out of the house, so many of these jobs have now become remote jobs. It is hard to imagine not being able to work remotely if you apply for jobs. I've said this before, I do have a higher education, and yet I will do anything for money. And so that's what I'm saying. I have worked, and I've said this before, I've worked as a babysitter on the weekends. I do puzzles and then I sell them on eBay. I will do anything for income. So income, if you are finding yourself in debt, I strongly advise you to either work more hours at your job, depending on what the job is. If it's something that offers overtime or extra shifts, That is the number one way to get yourself out of debt, is to increase your income. And I do all, and I know some people have said, like, I would love to work at, let's say, Target over the holidays, but I don't want to commit myself to my full-time, and a lot of people have full-time jobs already. I was told, I always ask the people when I go to Target, which has been a while, and they always said, oh yeah, you can tell them when you want to work. That sounds easier said than done. I understand that, but there are other opportunities. You can walk dogs, just on the weekends. I have gotten babysitting jobs on care.com, for which I have, one of the things that you write down is whether you want it to be recurring or one time, and I put it one time. Especially with New Year's Eve, obviously you need to make sure that you are someone who's going to do a good job babysitting for other people's children. That is quite a responsibility, but I have done that. So I do think, look at the little piece of paper. If there's any question that I'm cheap or a tightwad, here's the piece of paper I'm doing my things on. Okay. The other thing is, once this income starts coming in, depending, for us, we had two major debts, and if you listen to Dave Ramsey, he always says, what debt do you have other than your home? Because he does that separately. Debts for him are consumer debts, student loans, credit cards, car loans. Those are the kind of debt he is talking about. In our situation, these two debts were so massive, I needed to address them. And the way he does it for Dave Ramsey is, if you do have multiple debts, is to do the debt snowball. He feels, and very strongly, that the psychological boost you get from paying off, like if you have, let's say, 10 debts or 5 debts, once you get rid of that little tiny debt, it just gives you an emotional boost. I know a lot of people have a problem with that, because they say that is not the smartest thing. You should start with the highest interest paying off debt and then work your way down, or the largest debt. If you owe $10,000 in student loans and only $500 in your credit card, pay off the student loan. He says, no, pay off the $500 credit card and don't put any more money on the credit card, because that will give you an emotional boost that will propel you and get you to be gazelle intent. That's my next one. So the debt snowball, if I didn't explain it well, is paying off the smallest debt first and get the small little tiny snowball rolling down the hill until you're able to address the largest debt. And then when you just have one debt to deal with instead of these other 4 if you had 5 that are hanging over your head, he says you can then become really what he calls gazelle intent. And gazelle intent is where you get crazy about your debt, and that is when he says you don't go out to dinner, you don't see the inside of a restaurant unless you're working there. You don't go out to dinner, and the food that you are eating, you're not eating luxury meals, you're eating rice and beans and rice. Again, you have to, I love Dave, and he would say that someone like me is Dave-ish. You have to pick and choose what you feel, what works for you. And he gets angry at people who are Dave-ish, but I would say I'm kind of Dave-ish there. I do want to eat healthy meals, and I'm not going to eat rice and beans. Okay, and the last thing I said is to sell stuff. I am so amazed by how much money you can make. I have been selling on eBay since 1999. I have done it as a part-time job. I have done it while I was recuperating from surgeries I had over the last couple of years on my knees. I've done it with greater intensity, and it really is really amazing how much money you can make on eBay and Poshmark. Mercari, there's Facebook Marketplace, there's all kinds of different platforms. If you just insert the word online, how to make money online sales, you're going to get 20 different options. The ones that I sell are eBay and Poshmark, because I don't want to have to juggle too many. I cross list, and I don't want to have to juggle too many different platforms. So these are some really good ways to sell, to save money and get yourself out of debt. Obviously, one of the most important things is to cut back your spending. And for that, I know a lot of people do a no spend. I did a no spend November, which was very successful. I don't think I ever did a follow-up about that. I don't think I'm going to do a no spend January. I think I'm going to do a no spend February. People like to do no spend February. A lot of people say that it's difficult after the holidays because you're still kind of in that, you know, you're getting the good deals after Christmas to eliminate all spending in January. I like February also because there's really not much going on in February. I live in outside of Philadelphia and it's cold here, so it's frankly kind of cheating. It's easier for me to say, okay, we're not going to the movies, we're not doing this because I don't really want to go anywhere. Anyway, those are my ideas of how to tackle debt in 2022. There are literally thousands of ways to tackle debt, but those are the first 5 that came off the top of my head, and I try to keep these videos fairly short. Again, it's increase your what did I say? It is increase your income, and there are myriad of ways to do that. That includes getting a part-time job, getting a once a week job, to start paying off with the debt snowball method, and also to start selling stuff. I can do it. I learned how to do Poshmark about 2 years ago. I've been selling on eBay for years, and if I can do it, it is really, really simple to do. And yeah, I kind of cheated because I think my son did help me with Poshmark. But anyway, this is Leslie. Welcome back to my channel. If you are a subscriber, if you are new here, thank you so much for watching. And if you have done things to help yourself get out of debt, please let me know in the comments. I love answering and reading the comments. It's very interesting and it's very fun, and it's kind of like a support group. Thank you so much. This is Leslie. Thanks for watching my channel. Bye-bye.